Hey, what's up guys? Your boy Duck here, bringing you my Week 1 battle for the Riverside Draft League. My opponent for Week 1 was Hyper, and we did already battle. This is being recorded afterwards. But before we get into things, let's start by going over the team. As you can see, the first mon I brought was Registeel. Registeel with a Choppleberry, Stealth Rocks, Thunderwave, Ironhead, and Earthquake, with some good mixed bulk and a little bit of speed. To mostly be able to counter things like Altaria and Terrakion was a big threat to my team. It kind of just ran through everything. So with the Choppleberry, Registeel can kind of 1v1 it. Not super reliably well, but theoretically it could work. Terrakion's just a huge problem for my team, so this was kind of my best option for dealing with it. Next up, we got Swoopster, the Crobat. It's a Life Orb set with Nasty Plot, Sludge Bomb, Heat Wave, and Giga Drain. Crobat's speed tier was really helpful in this match, just being able to outspeed a lot of things and hitting hard with a Nasty Plot and Life Orb to boost its power even further. The three moves I chose were just for the best coverage. Sludge Bomb hits just about everything, while Heat Wave hits the Steel types like Celesteela. And Giga Drain's mostly for Terrakion, and recovery's always nice, so it's not super reliable. Infiltrator, just because on the off chance that maybe it's like a sub DD Altaria, we could hit through that. And yeah, Crobat, just good late game sweeper, has the potential to be really strong in this match. Next up, we got Kangaskhan with Power Up Punch for turn, Fire Punch, and Crunch. Kangaskhan, just really strong Pokemon in general, hits hard, super bulky, with Power Up Punch you can easily sweep through a team. I brought a lot of defense investment on this Kangaskhan, just so I could be able to take one close combat from Terrakion and hit back hard. Yeah, overall it's just a really solid mon. Even with as little attack investment as I have, it still hits super hard. Next up, we got my Togekiss with Firium Z Fire Blast to kill Celesteela, kind of lure it in and kill it with a Z move, Then Roost, Thunderwave, and Air Slash just to be your standard annoying Togekiss. Thunderwave something and then Air Slash, flinch it to death. Lots of specialization, I guess you could say, on the EVs with lots of bulk. Just enough special attack to guarantee a one-shot on physically defensive Celesteela with the Inferno Overdrive. And I can't remember exactly what I was speed creeping, but yeah, the speed is there. Next up, we got Latias with Reflect type, Recover, Psychic, and Thunderbolt. This is a pretty interesting set. Reflect type allowed me to theoretically beat a lot of the Pokemon on his team, 1v1. Celesteela being the most prominent one. Just being able to, switch into Celesteela, not having to worry about Air Slash or Heavy Slam or anything like that. Recover, just to stay in a healthy range so I can continue coming in on things, and Reflect typing, be able to beat them. And Psychic and Thunderbolt were just the best two coverage move options I had. Last but not least, we have a Rotom Wash with a Rindo Berry, Will-O-Wisp, Discharge, Hydro Pump, and Toxic. A bit of a departure from a standard Rotom set, with a special attack investment to guarantee, I want to say, an OHKO on Terrakion. Will-O-Wisp and Toxic are just good for spreading status around. And I believe Discharge was necessary to guarantee a 2-hit KO on Celesteela, an offensive variant. Yeah, these descriptions of the sets aren't exactly the best because it has been quite a bit since I've built this team and done the battle. But yeah, so speaking of the battle, let's just hop right into it and get things going. So, as you see, my team right here. And he brought Celesteela, Mega Altaria, Terrakion, Shaman, Donphan, and Volcanion. Right off the bat, Terrakion is a massive threat. Then the rest of this team is also somewhat scary. You'll see later in the battle, but the Shaman is actually a surprisingly big problem for this team. But I don't want to get into too many spoilers, so let's just start things off. So, he leads Donphan while I lead Rotom Wash. I figured Rotom was a good lead, because the things he'd probably want to lead with would be Celesteela, Donphan, or Terrakion. To get up rocks, or Celesteela just be a bulky wall. So I do get a pretty good lead matchup. And so I go right for the Toxic, figuring he wouldn't want to stay in, and if he did, Donphan is a good Pokemon to have Toxic. And I go for the Hydro Pump right away, kind of expecting him to switch out to get that Natural Cure boost, or maybe predict a double on my end. I believe I predicted him to go like Terrakion or something, expecting my Crobat to switch in. Plus I had a Rindoberry on the off chance that he didn't switch out, which in this case he didn't, so I wasn't too worried about that. So he just goes right for the Leech Seed while I stay in with my Rotom. I'm a bit afraid of this thing. I don't have a great switch in, but I just go Latias, get Leech Seeded, which is just so annoying. Leech Seed is just, it's almost always a no drawback play, so it's really annoying to try to face a Leech Seeding Pokemon like this Shaman. But anyway, I go into my Latias and hit him with a Thunderbolt, predicting that Celesteela pretty well. But with the Leech Seed, it doesn't do like anything, so I'm forced into my Rotom. Well, he just goes for the Protect. He protects again, scouting the Discharge, I guess, or just getting off recovery, I guess, that makes sense. I go for the Will-O-Wisp and miss on the Shaman, but doesn't matter because Natural Cure. And this time I go right into my Crobat, predicting the Toxic. And then I go into my Registeel, because I figured he wouldn't want to stay in on Crobat. Crobat could easily Brave Bird to kill him. So I go into Registeel and just get up my Roxas. He goes into Donphan and does the same. This was kind of a dumb play on my part, going for the Thunder Wave. I don't know why I didn't predict him to switch out, or why I didn't predict him to stay in, because he could obviously just Rapid Spin and get into a huge advantage, having the rocks while I don't. So Thunder Wave, completely a dumb play on my part. And then I go for my Stealth Rocks, get him up again, and this was probably the biggest misplay of the game, right here, where I decided to stay in on the Earthquake. I have a bad habit of doing this, not calcing during a battle, and expecting something to do a lot less damage than it does end up doing. So I was expecting this Earthquake to do maybe 40%, when in reality it's doing 66, and yeah, that's not good, because I need health on this thing. And I didn't bring a Wish Passer this battle, so this Registeel is going to be permanently low and pretty much useless when I needed it to check Terrakion. But anyway, I just switch right out, go into my Rotom, because it can't really, Donphan can't really touch it. I double out into my Crobat, because he shouldn't stay in when I get that play right. I go right for the Nasty Plot right here, and right here, I'm heavily considering what play to go for, because if I were my opponent, I would have switched out into something. So Nasty Plot would have been a play on my end, go for the +3, because that would allow me to just kill anything on his team. Alternatively, just going for the attack and being able to get off a hit on whatever he wants to switch out into. But I end up going for the Nasty Plot, which arguably a misplay there, because damage off on this Terrakion would have proved to have been pretty helpful later in the game. The way he brings that out, though, just proves that it's Scarf, so I go right into my Registeel. The Stone Edge crit, I think it didn't matter, because he is Choice Scarfed. So I think I would have been able to survive 2 and been able to do something, at the very least, get up rocks. But he does crit the Stone Edge, which is very unfortunate, and my Registeel just goes down. And at this point, I have pretty much nothing for this Terrakion. It's free to run through my team. I go into my Rotom, which is basically just a free switch into Shaman. I go for the Will-O-Wisp. Doesn't really matter. Shaman has leftovers, Natural Cure. This thing's doing whatever it wants. Leech Seed, and this is basically the beginning of the end for me, as this Shaman is pretty much just going to seed me to death. I make a really aggressive play here, going for the Inferno Overdrive. Predicting the Celesteela, just trying to get some kind of footing under me. It doesn't work, as he just goes right into the Altaria. I basically just had to make a really aggressive play right there, and it didn't work out for me, so yeah, so now my Togekiss is at half health. I managed to get the paralysis off on the Altaria, so at least that's one threat. That's not so much a big deal. Air Slash, miss, doesn't matter because he gets the para. So now I basically just try to 1v1 this thing with my Togekiss. Just Air Slash away at it. This goes on for a little bit. I'm just getting slowly seeded, and he's getting slowly whittled. Eventually he does break through, manage to kill my Togekiss. And I go right into Crobat. I go for the Giga Drain, expecting the Terrakion to come out like last time. Kind of a dumb play, but it doesn't really matter considering the Altaria gets paralyzed. He didn't really have any reason to save that Altaria, so I don't know why I was trying to predict. Go into Rotom because Donphan can't touch it. Get the Hydro Pump off, just for damage on the Celesteela. Doesn't really matter though, because Protect shenanigans. Yeah. I'm just kind of making the semi-safe plays, just doing what I need to not immediately lose. But if you couldn't already tell, I do end up losing this battle. Shaman coming in, leech seeding, being annoying. At this point, I feel I still do have somewhat of a chance, considering I have the Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan is just super powerful. But it's a real long shot for him to be able to do any work, really. Go into my Latios here because it resists the dual stab, and I just go for the recover, get back up to full health. I go for the Reflect type, so he can't Leech Seed me, but it doesn't matter because he can just Toxic. I kind of just did that to show off, truth be told. But I double into Crobat on the Toxic. At this point, there's no reason to try to save Crobat. He can't switch in anymore, and he just goes down to an Ice Shard. So I predicted Giga Drain would have been a good play there, to maybe try to have some kind of foothold against the Donphan, but it really doesn't matter, because I can't break through this Shaman at all. I don't bother with the Reflect type here, figuring he wouldn't try for a Leech Seed, or at the very least he'd go for a Toxic first. So I'm just praying for Spadef drops and crits. I figured he might go for a Leech Seed there, just trying to protect himself against those Spadef drops. But yeah, he makes a good play, goes for Toxic. And yeah, it's pretty much over at this point. There's just about nothing I can do. Yeah, I already put in the GG. The battle does go on for a bit longer, but yeah, I lose this battle quite poorly. Overall, I think I played this game alright. There were some pretty crucial misplays with me pretty much throwing away the Registeel, which was pretty horrible. But I think that, honestly, I lost this more to matchup than anything else. So I'm not trying to make excuses, but the Terrakion really tore through my entire team. There was nothing I could really do. So good game to Hyper, and hopefully next week we can pull out a win. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.